Good morning, everyone. This is going to be a very quick and serious video. As you can tell from the title, I'm calling on Christians to cease conversations with non-believers. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's getting to the point to where stuff is so combustible, stuff is so toxic and out of control that we have to really illustrate that we're not going to tolerate this. Um, True Empiricism recently uploaded a video saying, "Here we draw the line." I agree with them. A line has to be drawn, and um, I'm just calling on Christians to cease concept. excuse me, calling on Christians to cease conversations with non-believers. Now, I want to preface this and make it very clear that I'm not putting every single non-believer into the same boat. Okay, you see, that's not gonna go down. The Slim Jim, you gonna come up, you just gonna get timed out. I'm not gonna put up with this nonsense. But anyway, as I was saying, um, we got to show that we're not going to tolerate any of this garbage that are happening to Christians on here. And until they stop doing these things, until they stop harassing people and doing all this vile stuff, we need to make a stand. We need to take a stand and cease contact with all non believers. And again, as I was saying, I don't want to frame and generalize all non-believers into the same boat because I know all non-believers aren't responsible for the things that are going on. I know there are respectful non-believers out there who have nothing to do with this, but the bottom line is, um, it's at the point to where it's really that serious to where like conversation has to just stop altogether until this trolling stops, until this harassment stops. It doesn't matter who you think is responsible for it or who you think started it. And I do believe that whatever G Man is responsible for and whatever he's done wrong in this, okay, so you're going to come up, okay, now you're going to be blocked from my channel altogether. If I time you out and you come in here with the sock account, you're not just going to be timed out. You're just going to be blocked from my channel altogether. So let's go to your channel and just block you. That I'm definitely not going to tolerate. You are not going to come in here posting on my channel. When I time you out, I mean you need to be timed out. You don't come on here, get timed out, and come on here on sock accounts trying to circumvent the rules. That's not going to happen. But as I was saying, well, I'll address you later. I'll deal with you later if you just come in because I can't seem to find the. Oh, never mind. There it is. There's the block option. I'll block that account, and then I'll block this troll account. This false empiricism. You're going to. Let's see. I'm not putting up with any of you trolls and any of this nonsense. I'm not putting up with any of this garbage from any of you people. Now let's go to false empiricism's channel. Let's see. So you people can just quit wasting your time because if you come on here with sock accounts and trolling and posting stupid comments, you're just going to be removed. I'm not going to argue with you. I respect how G Man runs his channel, but and he tends to allow a bit more of the nonsense in his chats to a certain degree, but I don't allow it. Period in my chat. You're going to be gone. As soon as you post something stupid, you're just going to be gone. But I'm going to finish what I was saying. Um, until this nonsense stops, until we get to the point to where we can have a legitimate conversation and keep the personal nonsense out of it, I'm just going to cease all conversations with non-believers. If I'm posting up a general video about abortion and one of the non-believers I'm aware of in the Great Debate community comments, I'm just not going to engage them. And I know this dude's a troll, so he's going to be removed. Let's see. I'm not joking. You guys are gone. You guys are only gonna last 2 seconds over here. Now, in the meantime, when I put up any videos, it's going to be addressing the people who may not comment necessarily all the time, but are genuinely interested in the conversation, watching from the outside in. A lot of these trolls that post in the chat or post on your comment section, they generally aren't really interested in what you have to say. They're setting their views, which isn't of itself a bad thing that you setting your views, but the way they carry themselves in being set in their views is what I won't tolerate. Vecco's up in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. But we need to get to a point to where until we can have real conversations again, until we can all act like adults. If I'm hosting a hangout, if I'm talking about anything, it's not going to be the conversation is not going to be carried out with the non-believers, at least the ones that I'm more actively, the ones that tend to be more active in this community. And this isn't intended to be some sort of remark or any sort of put down to the ones who are cool and the ones who are not participating in this. But a conversation can't carry on while this sort of combustible element is currently in play. It just can't happen. So if I'm posting up a video about something that I want to talk about, there's only going to be certain people I'm going to interact with until this stops. I'm not going to even acknowledge any of these people in this so-called great debate community. Your names won't be mentioned. Your comments won't be getting posted on my channel. Nothing, none of that is going to happen. And you can take this whatever you will. You can think of me whatever you will. I really don't care. But until this stops, the conversations will stop. Because it's becoming more and more evident that a lot of these people, and I'm starting to even wonder about these so-called respectful atheists. I'm starting to wonder about even some of them, if they even truly care about the conversation. I don't think these are all non-believers, but there's certain ones that I have in my mind that I'm wondering about. that those who I thought were respectful at first, I'm starting to question at this point. So I'm going to be calling on Christians to cease contact with non-believers and to just not acknowledge them at all until this nonsense stops, until people can act like adults, until people can carry themselves as respectful human beings. Just it's just not no more exchanges, and that's just the way it's going to be on my channel. So I hope all the other believers follow suit. I really do. And again, it could be any non-believer. It could be Drag Knight. It could be Hog Tie Champ. It could be Sock Account. It could be any of them. Whether I think you're respectful or not, um, the conversation can't move forward with any of them until this nonsense stops. Because the bottom line is, if there's a conversation happening with the people who are more active in the community, if there's a conversation happening, then there's there's an opportunity. If there's a conversation happening at all, at least um, during this whole thing, at least during this whole issue about people calling G-Man's work, if there's a conversation going on, then I'm wondering while this whole thing is going on, if that could particularly impugn the conversations, because I cannot in good conscience uh, carry on a conversation while one of my brothers are getting harassed day in and day out. It's not going to happen. I mean, if you people really want to gauge us in the ideas and things like this, you need to learn how to put aside all this nonsense. A lot of people get this dumb idea because I don't say anything particularly against Christians on air, that I don't say anything at all, and that's just not true. See, Reyes, and that's a legitimate question. Why box all non-believers up in a box instead of condemning the individuals responsible? And that's a legit point. But the issue is just the nature of the conversation. And what I mean by that is, um, although I do think there are respectful non-believers out there, I'm not sure at this point if I can trust the one from another. Because here's the bottom line: when G-Man was upset yesterday and he had his hangout going, there was quite a lot of laughter and just insanity going on Dragnot's channel. There was quite a lot of nonsense going on over there. And what do you think G-Man was justified in how he was carrying himself or not? I thought there was a whole lot of insanity happening on his channel, and I'm not going to say who I thought was out of line or who wasn't, but I'm not gonna, point out any specific persons. I'm gonna say, but I saw a whole lot of stuff happening on that hangout that I did not like whatsoever. So at this point, even if you're generally a respectful atheist, I don't really know if I could trust anyone who tends to um, converse in those general circles. So it's not anything personal or anything like that. It's just what it's going to have to be for this period of time. And I don't see this as an issue of believer versus non-believer. I don't see it that way. But I do see it as an issue of um, we can't have a legitimate conversation until it stops on both sides. And I'm not saying that um, people on either side, even there's individuals on my side of this argument not um, assess this situation correctly and have done things wrong in this situation as well. But like I said, if I have any issue with believers, I address them off air. So I'm not gonna sit up here and claim that I haven't talked to certain believers about this and I haven't called out certain wrongs that I thought were even coming from believers because that's not true. But until we get to um, a particular point to where we see just a sort of unified non-tolerance of this, and I'm not talking about you saying, "Oh, well, G-Man made some threats to people or something like that," but you're still going to poke fun when you think he does something irrational. It's basically like you're saying, well, G-Man G-Man did something irrational, so I'm gonna laugh at it. I'm gonna laugh at him anyway. It's like, why can't you just be like, okay, he's doing something that doesn't make sense, and just leave it at that? No, you guys take it to a whole different level. It's like you say, well, he like I do agree that, for example, I do agree that calling the police, not the police, but like an emergency line, I do agree that wasn't the best move. That it should have been a non-emergency line. I will say that. But was it worth making a spectacle over it? Was it really worth making that kind of spectacle about it and doing it for views? I mean, if you want to do it for views, that's on you. But I mean, you are literally broadcasting someone's hangout. You're literally broadcasting someone's hangout and trying to take advantage of someone who's really, really angry about a lot of things that's been happening. I mean, if any of us Christians did that, if any of us believers did that, you guys would think we're the scum of the earth and you'd call us hypocrites. And you see those hypocritical Christians over there, they don't really live by what they say. If any of us did this to any atheist and some atheist was really, really angry and did the exact, let's say an atheist did the exact same thing G Man did, do you think you see would you see any Christians participating in this sort of poking fun and this sort of joyful laughter? Would you see Christians doing that? More than likely, no, you would not. At least now the Christians I know would if ever think to do anything like that, even if they did believe that atheist was wrong in certain things they said and do. Okay, I'm getting rid of these trolls. I'm just getting rid of you people. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna reason with you. You're just done. You're just gone. And you are another coward, Gary Ridgway. You got all these sock accounts. You keep this up. One of these days, sooner or later, is going to find out who you are. So you keep this nonsense up. And that's the type of crap I'm talking about. I mean, let's just say there was some atheist completely in the wrong. And it was other atheists, calling for and just to say this was completely in the wrong, and they were doing some sort of hangout or something like that. Do you think Christians would be in their chat trolling? Do you think they would be in their chat just trying to cause disruption and to cause a problem? No. Even if we think atheists are wrong, we're not going to troll their chats. Even if we think atheists are wrong, we're not going to stream their hangouts when they're upset and get a bunch of Christians to insult them and wait for them to do something ill advised, or if they're not in the right state of mind, they may say things that are out of pocket. We're not going to take advantage, generally speaking, when people are angry and not exactly thinking clearly. It's all good, bro. Um, we all need a little help, man, from time to time. I know it's you. I know it's you. You don't gotta prove anything to me. I know it's you, bro. All I gotta do is take a look at your channel and see that it's you. On one, Stevie Ray, this is a fair question. What does this have to do with Christians and atheists? In one sense, in one sense, you could say there isn't a connection per se, but on another level, there is. I guess you could say generally this shouldn't be in Christian or atheist issue in the sense that trolls are trolls, whether they're Christians or atheists. But in the sense that there is a connection on the level that when I watched that hangout yesterday, again, even some of the people, and I'm not going to say any names, but even some of the people that I figure were respectful were participating in this active uh, episode, just this active just circus of seeing G Man upset and doing certain things and saying certain things on stream and making a huge spectacle out of it and making a huge show out of it. I mean, there's one thing if G Man is upset, but why in the world would you broadcast and participate in it you as if you want to like escalate the fact that he was angry? So escalating his anger is going to bring some sort of change that's going to stop. If nothing like, if anything, you are going to potentially motivate someone to be even more upset when you do those kind of things. That's why I'm very thankful that G Man has brothers to support him and brothers and sisters in Christ to support him. And I'm pretty sure he's even thankful that, even more so thankful of it. But I'm not going to look at someone in a low place and escalate it into some sort of spectacle when they're upset. And again, I'm not going to say that everything that G-Man has done was right, and I'm not going to say he haven't done some significant wrongs, but he knows that, and I think he's going to do whatever he wants, whatever he's uh, uh, moved by the Lord to do to clean it up. That's the difference between him and a lot of the people on the other side. He will admit to where he's messed up. I don't think a lot of these other uh, non-believers or whoever's participating in these acts, I don't think anybody's gonna on their side. They're gonna admit that they messed up. They're not gonna admit they needing to shut this crap down too. A lot of the people that were participating in the broadcasting of G-Man's Hangout, I lost the respect on for at least several people over there, and they're not gonna admit that they actively, um, directly or indirectly, enabled this sort of behavior. I saw a whole lot of people in Dragnot's chat that I just thought a lot of what I was seeing over there was extremely problematic and extremely ridiculous. Keep on trolling. Keep on trolling people. You're getting removed. And I agree with you, psychopathic. There are wrongs on both sides. I totally agree with you. But for me, it's not so much the fact that there was wrong on both sides. It's how uh, the sides are handling it. That's my concern. And I do think there is a really, really, and I'm not saying this applies to all non-believers, but I think there's too many non-believers that are not handling this issue respectfully. They're not handling this issue to any sort of degree to calm the waters, to calm the storm. In fact, I say there's too many believers who want to see this mess go on and really, really get even more out of control than it already is because it's just a show to them. People can be wrong in the things that they do, but in how they handle it is the difference. And I saw a whole lot of disgusting behavior from those atheists over there in Dragnot's hangout. I don't even know who this Crow Mini Clouds is. I don't know, but he's just going to be timed out. But again, it is a fair thing to ask about whether it's a Christian versus a non-believer versus believer per se. To a certain degree, it's not, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to make it as such in this case, simply because of the behavior I saw. There might be a little room, maybe a little room, with very, very, and I mean extremely, extremely specific atheists that I'll bother to still converse with. Maybe. And when I get extremely specific with atheists that I might converse with, I'm talking about people like psychopath atheists. I'm very, very, very extremely specific on certain ones. Maybe people like him, but and maybe someone like multiple personality, but the vast majority of them, no. So if I at all allow or decide to converse with any of them, there'll be very, very few in number and very, very specific to those who I don't think have been any significant problem or those who I didn't personally witness participate in the behavior on Dragnot's channel yesterday. I mean, it may seem unfair, and I agree in many ways. It's not fair to you guys, but this is just gonna this is the way I believe it has to be until this trolling stops, until this crap just ceases. Because for the vast majority of atheists, I just don't know who to trust and who not to. And I mean, this is the position that I think a lot of the people on the other side have put us in, or at least put me in. I think other Christians will agree with me as well. Um, I think that's a false analogy, Mark. I mean, that's I think there's a difference between this small section of the internet and basically the vast majority of people in society, because you're dealing with a much bigger realm when you're just in general conversation with people in society than the small group of people in this small corner of the internet that's called the great debate community. So in a sense I see the point you're making, but I don't think it's an exact analogy either. So but that's the way I see it, and that's what I'm gonna stand by. Whether you agree with my opinion or not, you're more than welcome to disagree. But that's just how I see it. Analogies aren't meant to be exact. It's a comparison of principles, which is true. They don't have to be exact per se, but they do have to, in some way, have a particular parallel in order to hammer the point succinctly and to hammer the point successfully. They do have to have a parallel on some level, and I just don't think it has a parallel enough for it to work. I mean, it's not personally convincing to me, but someone else might think so. But that's another issue. Keep getting timed out, Crow. I'll be more than happy to time you out every time you come in here. But I'm at this point. I'm just I don't want to elongate this too much longer because I'll just go into rambling mode. But that's all I gotta say on this. Y'all can do with this what you will, but that's where I stand at this point. And until, and I can tell you this, there are believers that are addressing what's been going on our side of this issue, and I would like to see on some level it being addressed on the other side. And and until the trolling stops, until the phone calls stop, I'm just gonna assume that there hasn't been too much done about it. There hasn't been too much said about it, and then certain atheists are going to be enabling it in one way or another. But I mean, I'm not going to keep arguing this point, and I'm not going to repeat myself. You don't have to like the way I'm formulating this whole thing, but that's just where I stand. So with that said, I'm going to end this hangout, and you guys have a nice day. Take care. God bless. Peace.